Imagine you are working inside an underwater cabin, and suddenly a water storm comes and pulls you inside a 30-inch wide pipe, dragging you 20 feet deep into the ocean. And all of this happens within just 2 seconds. By the time you even realize what's happening, you find yourself trapped inside a pipe 20 feet below the ocean, staring at death right in front of you, completely helpless. This was the Paria diving incident, where 5 friends got trapped inside an oil pipe and lost their lives. Only one survived. Christopher. He lived to tell this terrifying story to the world. And yes, there is also real footage of this incident. Listen carefully. These are the real voices of the men crying, "Help, help," from inside the pipe. You'll see this full footage later in the video. So today's video will show what it's like to stare death in the face. The date was the 25th of February 2022 on the north coast of South America. There was a company called Paria. 5 friends, Rishi, Christopher, Kazim, Yusuf, and Faisal, worked there, cleaning oil pipes. On the 25th, these 5 friends went to clean a pipe that hadn't been opened in a very long time. Here's how it worked. There were 2 points. At one end, raw crude oil was poured in, and at the other end, near where these 5 friends worked, the oil traveled onward to the refinery, where it was converted into petrol, diesel, etc. The second pipe was underwater. Above this pipe, there was a device about the size of a small room called a habitat. It was attached so workers had space to stand and work above the pipe. On top of the pipe, there was also a blocker cap. This was to prevent hydrocarbons from escaping. Hydrocarbons are very important in crude oil. Without them, oil can't be refined properly. But when these workers suddenly opened the pipe, a disaster occurred. If you've studied Class 9 science, you know about high to low concentration movement. Inside the habitat was high pressure air, while the pipe had low pressure air. When they opened the pipe's cap, the air from the chamber rushed into the pipe, creating a violent storm. Within just 2 seconds, all 5 men were sucked from the chamber into the pipe, dragged 20 feet below the ocean. They couldn't even process what was happening before they were deep underwater. The force pushed them 120 feet inside the ocean. Eventually, the pipe straightened out, and they stopped moving. But by then, the immense water pressure had already broken some of their bones and caused severe injuries. Trapped in the pipe, they knew they couldn't survive long. They decided to try escaping the same way they had been dragged in, but the pipe was full of sharp turns. Some places had small air pockets. Others were fully filled with oil. If they tried holding their breath and crossing an oil-filled section without finding another air pocket, they would die. At this point, Faisal and Christopher decided to move forward, hoping to find a way out and send help back for the others. They swam ahead but soon realized their oxygen supply was running out. Luckily, they found another oxygen tank, but in the dark, they couldn't even tell how much oxygen was left inside. That tank too was almost empty. Still, by sheer luck, they found another cylinder ahead. By now, Faisal's oxygen was nearly finished, and with broken bones, he couldn't continue. Christopher had to go on alone. He finally reached an opening, but there was no way to swim up. The pipe was straight and full of oil. Swimming upward was impossible. So, Christopher began banging on the pipe, making loud noises. Rescuers outside heard the sounds and quickly dropped a chain inside to pull him out. As soon as Christopher came up, his first words were, "My 4 friends are still trapped inside. Please, save them quickly." The company's rescuers wanted to go down, but management didn't give permission. The company didn't even have large enough oxygen cylinders. If the rescuers went in, they too could run out of air and die. So, instead, the rescuers kept banging on the pipe, trying to locate exactly where the trapped men were. From inside, the 4 men could still be heard screaming, "Help! Help!" But for 2 whole days, the company did not send any proper help. Eventually, the 4 trapped workers died inside the pipe. Because of the company's negligence, 4 employees lost their lives. To this day, no action has been taken against the company. The families of those who died were not given even a single rupee as compensation. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe. Also, check out my other videos.